All right, so today we are diving into Aurora's music. We're taking a deep dive into this theme of power dynamics that comes up in a lot of her work.
Yeah.
And we are mainly going to be looking at it through the lens of You Keep Me Crawling.
Right.
And we've got some excerpts from the Childlike Soul Fan newsletter to guide us.
Yeah.
That's some really intriguing analysis on this.
It's really interesting how that song came to be.
Right.
Like, not every day a track gets added
I know.
to an album after it's been finalized.
Imagine The Gods We Can Touch almost existed without You Keep Me Crawling.
Right.
Like, what?
It's crazy.
Talk about a powerful testament to this, like, need that she felt to get this specific message out there.
Exactly.
But it wasn't even always called You Keep Me Crawling, was it?
No, it was.
It had a different name.
It was Bad Omens, I believe.
Bad Omens.
Which is also a cool title.
Definitely packs a punch.
Yeah.
But I feel like You Keep Me Crawling hints at a deeper narrative that we see kind of playing out
Absolutely.
in her work.
Yeah, and it points more towards that, like, power dynamic that we're going to be looking at.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It really gets you thinking, like, what was it about those final days, even after sending the album, you know, for mastering that, like, sparked this need to include You Keep Me Crawling.
Right.
Like, clearly the song was bursting to be heard.
Yeah.
And to really understand it, I feel like we need to crawl through the lyrics themselves.
Yeah.
Which the newsletter does a great job of.
They do.
And it's almost conversational.
Yeah, it is.
Wouldn't you say?
Totally.
This, like, back and forth, like an internal struggle playing out in the lyrics.
Well, they point out that she sings, but why does it make me feel like I am weak and small? Why do I keep begging like the animal?
And on the flip side, we hear, why do I make you feel like you are big and strong? Why do you keep hunting like an animal? It's that push and pull, that unsettling dance between feeling small and powerless and then questioning the source of the other person's strength.
Exactly. And it's interesting because it's not just about romantic relationships.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's deeper than that.
Yeah. Aurora herself has actually drawn parallels between these dynamics and broader societal structures.
Wow.
Like, she sees it everywhere.
Really?
Between races, teachers, and students, even within organized religion.
It's like those power dynamics seep into every aspect of our lives, shaping how we interact and perceive the world.
It's true.
And speaking of which, the newsletter made me realize just how prevalent this theme is in her work.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you see it in songs like Puppet, It Happened Quiet Churchyard, and I Went Too Far.
And it's not just that the theme recurs, it's how it manifests in different shades and nuances.
Oh, interesting.
Puppet, for instance, speaks to this sense of external manipulation.
Okay.
While Churchyard feels more like those internalized societal pressures.
Interesting.
Both tying back into this exploration of power dynamics that clearly fascinates Aurora.
Yeah, clearly. And this is where I think about that Norwegian saying the newsletter mentioned about the troll bursting if you shine a light on it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it feels incredibly relevant to how Aurora approaches these uncomfortable truths.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like she's saying, let's drag these power dynamics that are often hidden in plain sight out into the open.
Yeah.
Let's dissect them through music.
Totally. And in doing so, she lending her voice to those who feel powerless in these very situations.
That's a powerful thought.
It really is.
Really?
It's like to think of her music as this space for processing these complex dynamics.
Yeah.
And the newsletter also touches upon her incredibly dedicated fan base, her warriors and weirdos.
Right.
It's like she's directly responding to a need she recognizes in them.
Totally.
A need to unpack these experiences.
Yeah, and I think in that shared space, in those lyrics and melodies, there's a sense of empowerment, like a recognition that these struggles, these power imbalances, they don't exist in isolation.
It's that shared experience. I think that's where the real magic of her music comes alive.
100%.
But speaking of bringing things to life, the newsletter pointed out something I found quite surprising.
Okay.
Apparently, she rarely performs You Keep Me Crawling live.
Really?
We're talking just 8 times in 2 years.
Wow.
For a song so central to this theme, I was shocked, to be honest.
Yeah, you'd expect it to be like a staple in her set list.
Right.
Which makes those rare performances even more special.
Oh, absolutely.
For the fans that were lucky enough to be there.
It makes you wonder why the hesitation to perform it more often.
I know that's the million-dollar question.
Really is.
Maybe it's a question of vulnerability.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a raw, almost exposed feeling in those lyrics.
Right.
Perhaps revisiting those emotions night after night, it takes a toll.
There's a certain fearlessness, though, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely.
In tapping into those uncomfortable emotions, laying them bare through music.
It speaks volumes about her authenticity as an artist, you know.
For sure.
This isn't just music for her. It's a channel for processing, for understanding.
Right.
For connecting with herself and her listeners on a deeper level.
It makes you think about those fans who did get to hear "You Keep Me Crawling" live.
Yeah.
What a special experience they had.
Definitely. You know, like they were let in on something.
Yeah.
That most people haven't seen.
Totally.
Like a secret, almost.
It really makes you appreciate the power of live music.
100%.
That's so cool.
It is.
You know what stands out to me, though?
What's that?
Is just Aurora's courage. In, like, tackling these uncomfortable truths.
Totally.
Head on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, a lot of pop music kind of.
So much of pop music shies away from that.
Shies away from those complexities,
so
yeah.
Exciting.
The darker corners of human experience.
Yeah, and she's just, like, right there.
Yeah, she dives right in.
It's not like this is coming from somebody on the fringes either. This is like
a global superstar.
A globally successful artist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Someone who's experienced the heights of fame.
Yeah.
And yet she still grapples with these very like universal themes.
That's a good point.
Of power and vulnerability.
Yeah. Exactly. No matter where we find ourselves, I think those power dynamics touch every aspect of the human experience.
Yeah. And like in giving voice to those experiences, she creates this space for like solidarity and understanding.
Yeah, I love that.
It always brings us back to the power of music.
Always.
You know?
It's so true.
It's that ability to shine a light on those unspoken truths.
It's like a mirror.
Those imbalances that often go unaddressed.
100%.
Wouldn't you say?
Music can be a catalyst for introspection.
It can be.
For sparking those conversations that need to be had.
It's like her music is an open invitation to really examine those power dynamics.
100%.
In our own lives.
Yeah.
And to ask ourselves,
where do we
find ourselves?
Yeah.
In those equations, you know?
Where do we hold the power? Where do we?
Yeah. Where do we give up our power?
That's a great question to ask.
It is.
Really
is. Huge thank you to you.
To you as well.
And to you out there listening.
Yes.
For joining us on this deep dive into the intricate world of Aurora's music.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning.
Keep the music playing.
Keep the music playing.